What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 113 of the CHUMPS. We have something very special for you this week as we recorded live from Ace Comic Con Chicago at Navy Pier. Our good friend Chuck from Chuckload of Comics was nice enough to include me on a panel Friday night and allow us to use his booth for a quick hit. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel and tell him we sent you. You can find us on all social media platforms at the CHUMPS. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough voicemail, you might hear yourself on a future episode. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to wash the smell of nerd BO out of all of my clothes.
How's it going, Ace Comic Con? Me too. All right, guys, welcome to the very first Ace Comic Con Chuckload of Comics Live. We have never done this show at Ace Comic Con before. We're very, very excited. What Chuckload of Comics is, we are a weekly YouTube show. Every single Sunday, we come to you with the news of the week, the nerdy news, movie talk, comic book reviews, everything happening in the world of fandom. We try to cover it every single Sunday. What we're going to do for the next 45 minutes, maybe an hour, is just kind of break down the week's news. All the crazy. This was a big week.
Right?
Lots of amazing stuff happened this week, guys. We're going to talk about movie trailers. Did anybody see the Pet Sematary trailer yet? Oh my God, that new Pet Sematary trailer was something else. And then there was an Aladdin trailer, which not quite as amazing, but it happened. The Glass trailer that just dropped. Everybody see the new trailer for Glass? So good, so absolutely amazing. James Gunn, we're going to get into all the James Gunn controversy stuff. Well, it's not really controversy. We're going to talk about the new Venom movie. Did anybody see Venom?
All right.
Venom was so good.
Cheers for Venom.
We're going to keep this wide open, so when we start talking about a topic, we want you guys to kind of chime in. The gentleman in the far back, give it up to Ralph. Ralph has a microphone. We're all members of the same fan community, people, so if we talk about something, you want to talk about Venom, just raise your hand, join in the conversation. There's no such thing as a bad topic or a bad comment. Just join in the fun, that's what we're here for. We've got a lot of other cool stuff we're talking about. The new Batwoman. Anybody see the Batwoman picture from Ruby Rose?
Yeah.
First look at Batwoman was amazing, and of course we got some comic books. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Some quick introductions. To my far right, from the CHUMPcast. Guys, the podcast, one of the coolest podcasts in the city of Chicago is the CHUMPcast. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Be still my heart. Thank you for having me. I can't hear if I'm coming through this microphone or not.
I talk very loudly.
I am doing my best.
There it is. From the diaphragm, Ryan.
Yeah, so we're the CHUMPcast. Most people call me Smithers, so you can call me that. We are at the CHUMPcast on all social media. You can also find us on YouTube, though we're not quite as prolific with our postings as Chuckload of Comics.
I don't know what that word means. But I'm gonna assume it's good.
It is good, and I appreciate you having me here tonight.
Absolutely, Ryan. Well, you know your stuff, so you wouldn't be up here if you didn't really know your stuff. To my immediate right, the co-host of Chuckload of Comics, Shauna Lindsay.
Hello.
The woman knows all of her stuff. Probably the most knowledgeable comic book woman I know. Is also my wife. To my left, Antonio Medina. Tony, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Tony knows everything. He knows everything about toys and movies and all that good stuff. So, before we get into the news of the week, I want to tell you guys, on Sunday we're going to be doing a game show. Have you guys heard about the Infinity Feud game show that's going on Sunday? Did anybody see that on the website? Okay, Sunday we're going to do a game show, giving away prizes, massive prizes, tons of stuff. If you want to play, it's going to be 4 rounds, 12 competitors competing for some amazing, amazing prizes. So if you want to take part in the Infinity Feud game show, go to Chuckload of Comics YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and then just come over to our booth over there where we'll get you signed up. You're going to be on the main stage, the same stage where Chris Evans is going to take tomorrow. We're going to try to get Chris Evans on this stage in just a couple of minutes. We'll see what happens. I'm going to tweet him, and he's probably not going to come. But you never know. You got to hold out your hope.
On up.
Whoa. Was that Chris?
that was me. I was going to say, not with that attitude, Charles.
Yeah,
You're right.
right?
Remain optimistic.
I will
I'll try to
wrestle
be
him.
more
I will
optimistic.
track him down and I will wrestle him up here.
Right? That sounds awesome. I would pay to see that.
I've got coconut oil in my bag. Let's do this.
Ew.
You carry coconut oil around with you?
Don't ask questions.
Okay.
Are those coconuts in your bag or no? So who wants to win some free stuff? Anybody? Raise your hand. We've got this. We always try to start our show off with a giveaway. This right here, this is the Harley Quinn limited edition. They only made 3,000 of these in the whole world, and we have one of them. It was generously donated to us by Chicago Comics, our favorite comic book store in the entire city of Chicago. Chicago Comics gave us this. If you want to win this, all you have to do, pull out your cell phone, find Chuckload of Comics on YouTube, click that subscribe button, and then come over to our booth and sign up. We're going to be drawing the winner first thing tomorrow morning. So this is a hand-numbered, number 250, I think?
297.
297
Yep.
of 3,000. So pull out your phone, subscribe to Chuckload of Comics on YouTube. Thank you to Chicago Comics for giving us this amazing thing. So,
What's going on, Chuck?
what happened this week in the world of fandom? The first big thing, the Fox-Disney merger
Oh my god.
that we've been talking about, all of you guys have been talking about for probably months now. The merger that nobody ever thought was going to happen is actually happening. They just announced this week they have a signing date.
Yeah.
Tony, it's happening.
It is. I'm really excited about it.
Who isn't?
Isn't it amazing what almost $100 billion can do?
Right?
It can really expedite a signing. That's all it takes, 100 million.
How much of that went to bribing the FCC?
About 99 of it.
Yeah, 99%. So what's that date?
The date is January 1st. January 1st, Disney and Fox are putting pen to ink, and we are officially going to have the X-Men in the Marvel Universe. We're officially going to have the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe come January 1st. This is massive news.
This is huge.
Nobody thought this was going to happen until much later. They expedited it, I think, because of the upcoming Avengers 4 movie, right?
Yeah, and Captain Marvel too. I mean,
And Captain
right?
Marvel,
I mean,
yeah.
Now we have post-credit sequences that could be filmed and added with maybe like some Fantastic Four
I was gonna ask you
characters.
that. Tony, what do you think? What are the odds that we're actually going to get a maybe not Fantastic Four in Avengers? Chris Evans, you probably know if the Fantastic Four are going to be in the new Avengers movie, but do you think there's a chance we're going to get a post-credit sequence with either the X-Men or the Fantastic Four?
I think we are. I you know, with the timing, everything that's going on, I think we're going to get something, and that's so exciting.
I think it's...
What do you think, Ryan?
So I want to back up a little bit here because we're all tied up on, yes, this is going to happen. We're really excited to have the X-Men, Fantastic Four in this. Nobody really stopped to question if this is actually a good thing. So what we've really got is one fewer movie studio out there.
Good point.
And now we're down to, what, 3 left?
Wow.
Now that Comcast owns NBC, owns Universal, owns everything else, all of our media is coming from the same place. And all that really does is let them control what you see and when. Look, I'm as big of an X-Men fan as you could possibly imagine. I'd love to see them on screen. I would love to see Avengers versus X-Men. I think that would be absolutely amazing. But from a business standpoint, this is unequivocally bad.
Well, you bring up a good point. I mean...
Why do you gotta be the Debbie Downer, man?
Come on, Ryan. We're trying to be happy here. We're trying to get excited about
I
the
know.
X-Men. No, but
I'm sorry.
I completely
No,
agree
you're
with
right,
you.
you're right.
If
Come
you're
on.
if you're an independent filmmaker
Yeah.
and you're trying to get your movie made, and there's only Disney out there you can sell your movie to, and Universal, you're kind of screwed. I mean, you bring up a very valid point. It's a monopolization of the film industry.
The best thing I could compare this to is Anheuser-Busch or AB InBev coming in and buying up every microbrewery across the country, and then they're just distributing everything now. They control everything. So I want all of this to be good, and I'm actually pretty curious about what's going to happen. I guess Dark Phoenix, and more so New Mutants.
New Mutants is
What's
never
gonna
gonna see
happen
the
with
light of
that?
day, I don't think. I don't think we're ever gonna see that movie.
I think New Mutants, I don't know if it's ever going to get a theatrical release. I think it's been pushed back month after month after month, year after year after year. I can see it being pushed immediately to the streaming service.
We've seen a trailer.
Yeah.
We saw a trailer.
We saw a trailer.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get a theatrical release. They could push it to the streaming service. I don't think that might not happen. But I just, with this merger going through, it's got no set release date right now as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I know that it just keeps getting pushed back, so it's like that. Never mind, that's too nerdy. I'm not going to go there.
Nerd out, man. Look around.
It's the asymptote that's getting closer and closer to zero, but never touches. We're never going to get there.
a lot of words that I don't
Sorry,
understand.
this is the most sober I've ever been for a live show of anything. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
What do you guys think? Does anybody have any comments about the Fox?
Does anybody think that the New
Disney
Mutants is
merger?
actually going to happen?
That is a star-studded
I see some
cast.
shaking heads.
It is.
This is all because what's-his-face from Stranger Things got arrested for having cocaine at that airport in England.
It's all an isotope, man. It's just isotopes.
Well, you got New Mutants, and then we had the X-Men trailer that dropped recently. The next day, they announced that they were pushing it back to June.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
April. And you think about that, and then you think about the news just the other day about the signing date.
Right.
Now it makes me wonder what's going to happen with the X-Men movie.
The reason Dark Phoenix got moved, it had nothing to do with Dark Phoenix. The reason Dark Phoenix got moved is because they decided, in their infinite wisdom, to move Alita Battle Angel out of that November time slot, November, December, where we've got 10 movies coming out in one weekend. You got Aquaman, you got
Right.
Bumblebee.
It's going to be awesome.
You got Mary Poppins.
It's going to be so awesome.
You got the Sherlock Holmes movie coming out. You've got all these movies coming out in a 1 week time period, and then you had
insane.
Alita Battle Angel in there also. So Fox, in their infinite wisdom, hats off to them, moved Alita Battle Angel out of that slot, and they moved Alita Battle Angel into Dark Phoenix's slot, and then they moved Dark Phoenix in. So it really had nothing to do with Dark Phoenix, the reason for that movie.
Do you think that Bob Iger is already pulling these strings at Disney?
Absolutely.
We know this is a done deal. It's coming sooner rather than later. They basically just came in and said, your business is dumb. You do everything wrong. We're going to take over. It's the same thing like what Disney did with Spider-Man Homecoming. They're like, we don't trust you to do this. Here's Kevin Feige. He's going to take care of this movie for you, so it's good.
Yeah, well, and Kevin Feige we all trust, without a doubt.
Right?
So anyway, January 1st, all of our lives are going to change for the better, unless you're Ryan, and then everything's going to come crashing down.
I'm a Disney
Doomsday.
stockholder. It can't be that bad.
You have Disney
You are not
stock?
a Disney stockholder.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
You don't.
I have a
we're
set
not
of
the
mountains.
same group.
So let's move on to some movie trailers, guys. This was a really big week in the world of movie trailers. We got, like we said before, we had the Pet Sematary, the first look at Pet Sematary.
my gosh, it's so
that
good.
was absolutely outstanding. Shauna, I'm going to throw this to you. You're a huge Stephen King fan.
I'm a huge Stephen King
You're a
fan, and I was
huge
really
John Lithgow fan.
Yes, so I was really a little nervous about them remaking yet another Stephen King movie. I'm like, why are they doing this? Especially ones that didn't need to be remade. But I'll tell you what, I saw this trailer and I was shaking oh my gosh, it was so good. It was edited well. John Lithgow kills it. Oh, I'm excited for it now. And I thought the new It was great too. So I don't know. Ryan's looking at me like I'm crazy over here.
All right, let's take it over to Negative Nancy.
Yeah, I guess that's just my role here is to just crap on everybody's opinion. I don't necessarily have a problem with this. I don't have a huge attachment to Pet Sematary, but there are 3 people in the entire world right now. It's like Stephen King, who's doing everything, Jordan Peele, who's being cast in everything, and I don't know, Kevin Feige, who's making everything.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time to be alive. We're living in the golden age of cinema.
And I can't argue against that, but I will always advocate more so for original content.
Okay.
And even if there's a great story, I'm not super familiar. I've seen Pet Sematary 15 years ago, so obviously you're more qualified to speak about this than I am. But creepy John Lithgow, yeah.
John Lithgow absolutely made this trailer spectacular. Did everybody see it? Has everybody seen the Pet Sematary trailer? Because I don't want to ruin it for you.
It was
you
great.
saw it. Thanos over there saw it. I know he did. What'd you think?
Oh!
Ralph, get
He's
this
on my
guy
side.
a mic. I think this guy has something he wants to say.
No, he's
Okay, he
good.
doesn't want a mic. Never mind, Ralph. I personally thought it was spectacular. The foreshadowing right at the start. You see the Creeds, the Creed family moving into their new little house out in the wilderness. They're looking at it fondly and lovingly, and then bam! This huge truck comes by. Amazing foreshadowing. This giant semi-truck just comes flying by. Scares the hell out of you in the first 30 seconds of the trailer.
No kidding.
And then the drums start kicking in. These Native American drums. And as we all know, the Native Americans in Pet Sematary play a very big role. They don't like leaving things dead. Sometimes dead is better. Not according to these guys. And then you start getting this really amazing John Lithgow voiceover. John Lithgow, who can play anything. John Lithgow could play this cup, and I would buy a ticket to see it. Plays Judd, the old man who lives across the street. Amazing casting, I think, of John Lithgow as
Absolutely.
Judd. Absolutely spectacular. Tony, you saw it just over there.
Yes.
On your cell phone.
I just saw it. You know, it's been years also for me. I haven't seen it in many years. And this trailer was pretty exciting. I loved the modern look, the way that it was looking. The truck definitely scared me.
The truck was scary as hell.
I liked it. I'm looking forward to seeing this new version.
Yeah.
The reanimated animals are obviously going to be so much better than they originally were.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we got a picture of Church up there on the monitor, and
That's one awesomely adorable cat.
No.
I think he's cute as hell. I think he's adorable.
He's a cat. He's perfect for it because he's just pissed off at everything.
It is a better looking cat. Can we talk about the casting of the cat for just a second? Much better cat casting than the first one. This cat looks like he just climbed out of the grave, which he did. I like the fact that I love the kids in the masks.
Yeah.
When the kids come out and it's like it's a ritual. They've got their masks on and they're going to bury their pets. Kids don't bury kids in the Pet Cemetery. That happens in the sequel. Yeah, the kids with the masks on. It's going to be. I think this movie is going to give it a run for its money. Just in the scariness of it and the creepiness of it. The trailer was so perfectly cut. I like that they didn't show Zelda yet. Everybody's seen Pet Sematary, right? Like the original.
Yeah.
We know Zelda is just about the scariest thing ever filmed in the history of film. I like that they're saving that. I'm hoping they're not going to show us any Zelda until our asses are in the seats and we've paid our money and we can't leave. We're going to be terrified. You did see a little bit of Pascal. Pascal, you know, is the guy who dies at the beginning of the movie, and he comes back and he is the kind of voice of reason to Mr. Creed, the main guy. So anyway, that's the Pet Sematary trailer. Did anybody see the Aladdin teaser trailer that dropped, I think, last night? And you saw it. I'm going to ask this kid what he thought about the, right over there. I want to just ask you one quick question about what you thought about the Aladdin. Do you like the movie Aladdin? It's a good movie? What's your name?
Oh, wait.
What's your name?
Jack?
Jack? What did you think about the Aladdin trailer? The little tiny teaser trailer that dropped?
It's fine.
It was fine, exactly.
Thank you.
Jack
That is
put it perfectly.
the most apt description I've
It
ever
was
heard.
fine. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't the most amazing thing I've said. Jack, you win a prize, my man.
I want to hear what this guy has
was
to
okay.
say right here in the beanie.
Did you see the Aladdin trailer, sir?
Yeah, I actually, the voiceover, what really kind of drew me into the trailer. And I know obviously they show you hardly anything,
Right.
but I don't know. I just have a lot of anticipation for it because Aladdin is my #1 favorite Disney movie ever.
Really?
So
Oh, nice.
I'm actually excited about it. Really excited. So
I was really
we'll
excited.
see.
You know, when I first heard that they were going to cast Will Smith as the genie, I got very excited. Now, I just found out the other day they're actually going to be, let's feed him back. He's going to be a blue genie. So they are blue facing the guy. They're going to give him a zany haircut.
Tobias Funke?
They're fuking
They're
Will
fuking
Smith.
Will Smith.
Complete with jean shorts.
He's a never nude.
He's all your Arrested Development
Tony, you
fans
saw
out there.
You saw the teaser.
I also really like Aladdin. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. So I was really excited. It didn't show much, so it was really hard for me to really make a good.
I do want
Yeah,
to
it's
make
just-
one correction there. It didn't show anything.
Well, it didn't show a lot
It
of
did
story.
show
There's a whole bunch of sand.
There's a lot of sand.
It's
you see
a
the tiger
teaser
pit.
Trailer.
It's-
It's teaser.
The selling point for this, like you said, is Will Smith. Why
Yeah.
not let him do the voiceover? And you get a little
right.
bit of the cut of Never Had a Friend Like Me at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sing us a couple bars.
No, I absolutely will not. Again, I'm sober right now, so not going to happen. This is another one of those Disney cash grabs, and it's fine. Stockholder, again, it's cool.
That's your cash they're grabbing.
Make something new. Please make something new.
Okay.
I'm okay with these live-action remakes of the Disney movies, though. Jungle Book was great.
Jungle Book was great. I'm really looking forward to The Lion King, which comes out.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast was good.
Yeah.
Little too close to the original script, which is kind of my fear for Aladdin. I think Aladdin's just going to be beat for beat what we've already seen.
Yeah,
just
probably.
without Robin Williams. And so it's going to be missing that crucial little ingredient.
But if you have to replace such a big personality, I mean, Will Smith.
That's a good point.
Not a bad stand-in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I hate to end this on a sour note, but they showed a lot of it at CinemaCon this past couple months ago. People did not like what they saw from the Aladdin movie. It's getting very negative feedback. We try to stay positive on Chocolate Comics.
I don't.
But it didn't get the best. They say Will Smith as a genie is going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Oh, man.
So moving on to positive things, before we get done with the trailers, guys, the Glass trailer, the second trailer, and hopefully final trailer for Glass dropped last night.
Yeah.
We didn't even know we were going to talk about this, and then it just dropped out of the blue. Oh my God, what an amazing trailer that was for Glass. Speaking of original ideas, Shauna, what'd you think about the Glass trailer?
Oh, I was waiting for Split forever. I mean, I think we all were. I mean, it took between the time length of Unbreakable and Split, it was how many years?
It's like 10
years.
15 maybe.
And so, of course, now I'm super excited for Glass. And this last trailer that dropped, it's just, I don't know, other than perfect. That's the best word I can use
Did
to
everybody
describe
see
it.
Split before we start spoiling everything that's going on with James McAvoy's character? We saw it. Good. I was blown away by this trailer. James McAvoy just absolutely crushed it. All the voiceover with Samuel L. Jackson, Mr. Glass was just so awesome. You got to see, I don't know if you guys noticed, but David Dunn's kid from Unbreakable was in the trailer, all grown up. And they kept the same actor. The same kid who played him back in Unbreakable is going to be playing him in this upcoming movie. That was great. You got to see Mr. Glass's mother. She's absolutely spectacular. The use of color in this trailer, I don't know how much you noticed it, but every time, like when they go into the comic book shop and it says villains or heroes, the villain
the purple
neon sign was purple, the hero's neon sign was green. There's going to be a lot of use of color in this movie. What else? Tony?
I love the build-up. That trailer, compared to the first one, this one really, it got me amped up. I was like watching it and it was like you could see it. It was like going deeper and deeper into this darkness. And they really, Samuel L. Jackson, his character, the way that they showed him.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Spectacular. Guys, if you haven't seen these, obviously go on YouTube. Check out the Glass trailer. Check out the Pet Sematary trailer. Check out the Aladdin trailer.
Hold on one second.
Oh, you got more to say?
I have to ask
Please.
Negative Nancy over here what he thought of the Glass trailer.
I have thoughts. No, this is actually a movie that I think I've seen enough as far as trailers go.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't want to see any more. Don't show me any more. I know that they will. There'll be TV spots and everything. That's fine. But I guess my original thought was when you saw Unbreakable for the first time and, 15, 20 years later, did you ever think that the least excited character, the character you would be least excited to see would be Bruce Willis?
That's a good point. It's a very good point. No, I did not.
And there's very little Bruce Willis in this trailer. It's all about the villains. The villains. Even right down to that line where Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson, says to the Horde, James McAvoy's character, he just looks at him and says, "This feels like the villains coming together." This is going to be a very villain-centric movie. And you're right. I hope Bruce Willis is an afterthought.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to see the villains. You want to see them come together.
You want to see James McAvoy and the Horde and the Beast. And,
Shyamalan's not making a movie. He's developing a universe where I don't think it's going to end with the Glass movie. I think we're going to see an entire growing universe not owned by Disney.
Thank God.
There you go.
Sean, I wanted to ask you though. You mentioned that you were really excited when Split came out, and I was on the other side of that fence. I was happy to be proven wrong, but I thought that the trailers for that looked absolutely ridiculous,
Really?
and I didn't think James McAvoy could pull it off. And Thankfully, I was very wrong because he was amazing in that movie.
He's Oscar-worthy.
Absolutely.
It really was, and it's not the type of movie that would ever get that type of consideration, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm very excited to see more James McAvoy, and I hope this focuses on him and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
See, doesn't it feel good to be positive?
See?
I'm capable, I just don't like
He
it.
doesn't like things. Well, speaking... Moving on to other things we're insanely excited about. The other big news that dropped this week was James Gunn, who recently got fired from Marvel. We're not going to go into the James Gunn firing thing. It's been done to death. But recently fired from Marvel, decided what's he going to do. What's the one thing you can do if you get fired from Marvel? You go over to DC and you become DC's golden boy. It was announced this week, if you hadn't already heard this, James Gunn is going to be writing and he's being tapped to direct Suicide Squad 2.
Yes.
Tony, this was huge news.
I was very surprised.
This set the world of fandom and nerddom in an absolute crazy spell. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying I was very surprised, but I'm not really that surprised because what's he going to do? That's the next thing that he could do that would be amazing is fix this Suicide Squad. I wasn't very happy with Suicide Squad.
Does anybody out there like Suicide Squad?
I see you, Mark.
Okay, we got one.
Mark loves Suicide Squad.
So.
I got a question. We got a question from the audience. Well, this news is awesome. My question is, do you think James Gunn is going to have Batista do some acting in the
I'm glad you brought that up.
Who will Batista be?
Dave Batista, if you didn't hear this, the second this news dropped, Dave Batista immediately retweeted it and he said, "Where do I sign up?" Dave Batista is not super happy with the James Gunn firing, as we all know. He's very upset about this. He is not happy with Disney in the slightest. I think Dave Batista would be a phenomenal addition to the group. Dave Batista is one of our finest actors, right next to The Rock and Tom Cruise.
Really setting the bar high.
I know, right?
I like to set the bar
Who do
high.
we think he would play?
Yes.
Bane.
That's got to be the obvious.
I want to see him as like a Calendar Man or something like that. Bane is too predictable.
Kite Man.
All right.
Kite Man would be good too.
Kite Man would be amazing.
Why can't he just take up and play Killer Croc?
That's what I was thinking.
But
Because they already ruined that character.
Well, that's time to bring it back, man. Or what about King Shark?
King
Shark would be awesome too.
I think this is a case where you need his face to be recognizable.
Okay.
I say that, but I mean Drax.
Lex Luthor.
Not really. Well, he's bald. He could wear those tiny little glasses that he had in
we need a
Blade Runner.
badass Lex Luthor, I think.
I agree.
In his space suit, in his awesome suit, his green and purple suit.
The power
played
suit?
by
Yeah, Eisenberg was
Batista.
wrong. So he could just be Jesse Eisenberg's dad, right?
Yeah. Why not? Why the heck not?
So we just solved all of Warner Brothers' problems.
Right?
They should have come to Ace Comic-Con.
Could have paid a lot less than they're going to pay James Gunn.
Right?
So the big question is James Gunn the right pick for this directorial role? Do you think, I think he's absolutely perfect. I think James Gunn has proven he can take a ragtag group of actors, high-priced actors, and if you look at what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, he took actors with big personality actors, and he managed to give them all equal screen time. There was no star of the show, which is exactly what you need for Suicide Squad. You need to be able to give Will Smith the same level of clout as everybody else, and James Gunn's proven that he can do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What was the alternative here?
James Gunn?
What was the alternative?
It had to be him. If you look at these stories, they run so parallel to each other.
It's perfect.
It's a group of people, or aliens, or monsters, or whatever, that most of the time kind of hate each other, but have to work together anyways to either get paid or not get their heads blown up.
Yeah.
Right.
It kind of just makes sense.
They could have got JJ.
Yeah, I suppose.
JJ's good at landing ships.
Yes.
He's good at coming in and fixing messed up things.
He's also owned by Disney.
Also owned by Disney.
But is this enough to redeem Suicide Squad that went so far off the rails the first time?
I don't know.
I just want to go out and say, I did like the first half of Suicide Squad. The first half, fantastic movie. Then it just kind of fizzled off.
And the
What the hell was
characters
that?
were amazing. The characters were fantastic.
You can't blame the actors for Suicide Squad being what it was. Anyway, Who saw Venom? Did everybody see Venom?
Woohoo! Okay, how many
All right.
loved it?
Raise your hand if you really, really liked Venom. I really loved Venom.
No.
We got a maybe in the audience. I understand.
Maybe.
I get it. You know, is it a perfect film? Is it going to win any major Viewers' Choice Awards? Maybe not. But I thought it was absolutely spectacular. I saw it at the IMAX Navy Pier this last weekend.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It was, I really dug it. Guys, if you want to chime in, I just want to remind you, just raise your hand, join in the conversation. The movie destroyed.
Yeah,
It absolutely crushed. It broke the all-time record for October movies. Not by 1 million, not by 2 million, by $30 million. The previous record for October movies was like $50 million with a
It was Gravity.
This tipped the scales at $80+ million opening weekend
Wow.
domestic. It broke the record. It
Wow.
made $10 million on Thursday.
That's insane.
It went into Friday already $10 million up. Absolutely knocked people's socks off. And that is with a 30% Rotten Tomatoes score.
30%.
People still showed up in droves because they really wanted to see this character finally done right. Not like he was in Spider-Man 3. And they
Don't
crushed
you
it.
ever besmirch Topher Grace.
I love Topher Grace. He's a fantastic actor. I think he's wonderful, but man, that shit sucked. Okay, so it had a 30% Rotten Tomatoes score from critics, but an 89 from viewers. Ryan, what does that tell you?
That tells me that this is a 100% popcorn flick. This is not for critics. This is for people like us to go see and enjoy and not care about the lighting in a certain way or you know someone delivering this big monologue that's overarching and I don't know, foreshadowing or referencing society today. I just want to see a big monster bite people's heads off.
That's perfect.
And that's exactly what I got, and it was amazing.
Yep.
Actually, they kind of cut out all the head biting. Did you notice that?
Yeah, because
every time they went to bite somebody's head off, they would cut away.
It's because
we
they
have
made
a,
it
we have
to
a comment, and I'm so glad you chimed in.
PG-13.
What's your name again? We never got your name.
Yeah, my name's Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I was going to say, are you looking and hoping for maybe an unrated or rated R release?
I absolutely
Yes.
am.
Yes. Absolutely, because that's
Am I crazy, or did they say that this was going to be an R-rated horror film when they first pitched it to the American public?
If you notice, they didn't actually have a rating for it up until the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Before they actually released a rating for it, and I think the ultimate decision came down to being able to have him in the same movie as Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Right.
I think that's one of the things it came down to. But what do you think about Tom Hardy's comments about some of the scenes that were excluded from the movie?
Very good point. Shawnee, you made a really good point after we walked out of the movie about things getting cut out.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, no, I'm
I
pondering.
felt like there was some serious stuff cut out.
Yeah, you
there
can
were,
tell.
There were parts of it. For example, this isn't going to spoil the movie, but at the end when he's climbing up the side of the spaceship, and then something happens. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen the movie, but then immediately it cuts to them on the front porch. It's like,
Yeah, there was a lot missing there.
I don't want to spoil the movie for people who
Yeah,
haven't seen
I
it.
know, it kind of stinks, you can't talk about it.
But there were
without
parts of
spoiling
it that I felt totally got chopped out.
Yeah.
You're right, Tom Hardy said his favorite 15 minutes of the film didn't make it to the final cut.
I bet a lot of that was biting heads off people.
Could have been, but I think this movie is ripe for a DVD re-release and an R-rated cut, because you know the cut exists.
Absolutely.
This isn't like the Snyder cut of Justice League. There's a cut of this movie that is still sitting on somebody's shelf that's a fully hard R that's ready to go. And I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see a DVD R-rated version. But it's probably 3 hours long, and we're all going to absolutely eat it up.
We're going to love it.
So you kicked this off by talking about how much money it made at the box office, and part of the driving force behind that is the fact that it was PG-13. Because historically, rated R movies perform much, much worse. Obviously, Sony is looking for a hit here, and they're trying to build their franchise, even if their next movie is going to be Morbius for some reason.
So excited about Morbius.
Why did you give that look when you said Morbius?
I love the character. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. Jared Leto's another story, but really, you're going to try and build a franchise off of Morbius?
Absolutely. Why not?
Spider-Man. Bring in Spider-Man.
Well,
that massive character that you have the rights for.
Luckily, the fact that Venom has done so well tells Sony that they don't need Spider-Man to build a Spider-Verse, which is great for all of us. Why is it great for all of us? Because now Sony's going to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. They know that they can make money renting Spider-Man to Marvel while at the same time making money having their own Spider-Verse. So they're making money on both sides. If Venom would have tanked, they would have pulled Spider-Man back so fast. It was like, oh, nope, we need our guy back. We need to make some money. So this is wonderful. This is wonderful for everybody in the world of fandom who wants to see Spider-Man in the MCU, who wants to see Spider-Man stay in the MCU, while at the same time getting pretty damn good Venom movies and Morbius movies. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself with the good Morbius movie thing.
It's going to be Jared Leto.
What kind of
It's a
weird stuff
vampire
is,
doctor.
What kind of weird stuff is Jared Leto going to do on the set of this movie? Is he actually going to start
I think
sucking
he's going to
people's
start
blood?
drinking blood. Duh. I mean, it stands to reason he's going to start drinking. I didn't mean to duh you right there.
No. I think maybe I'm just more upset that Jared Leto's going to be in this movie.
Tony,
it'll be a good way to introduce Blade into Morbius, huh?
And you can bring Blade into the universe. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm so glad the Venom absolutely crushed.
Does Wesley Snipes come back as Blade?
I heard they've been talking to Wesley Snipes.
That'd be awesome.
If anybody is saying that Wesley Snipes is coming back as Blade, it's Wesley Snipes. Because he's been saying it for 20 years.
It's like, no, I got this, man.
I'm not even really...
I've left like 100 messages.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I just think nobody's saying it except for him. Speak it into existence.
What about Venom 2? We all saw the post-credit sequence, right? A certain character makes an appearance in the post-credit sequence with a very bad-looking wig.
That was
Ronald
the
McDonald.
worst wig ever.
I mean, just because a haircut works in the comics in the 70s doesn't necessarily mean
It works on
it's going to
screen.
connect to audiences in 2018.
Great.
Love this actor. I don't want to say who it is if you haven't seen the movie yet, but what was with that wig, Tony?
Oh boy, I was thinking Carrot Top or...
Very Carrot Toppy?
Yeah.
I just instantly thought Ronald McDonald.
Yeah,
was
it's definitely
horrible.
Ronald.
Horrible. I don't know why. I mean, it just, yeah, I don't know.
He's going to show up and attack Grimace in Venom 2.
That'd be awesome.
Hey guys,
Hey,
for Venom 2, do you think they're going to completely try to avoid any Lady Gaga release of a movie when they release Venom 2?
it worked for them. I think they need to plan their releases around Lady Gaga's tour.
I mean, I'm a Lady Gaga fan, but from what I've heard is a lot of those reviews were sabotaged.
I heard about that too.
Really? I didn't hear that.
I don't think it worked though. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
clearly
think so
it didn't do the trick.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes it worked because it's sitting at a 30, but
That's true.
as you can see, a lot of people in the crowd do not feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Let me ask you
also
this: the sequel, is Sony going to go for an R-rated sequel? Because the character who will probably be in the sequel, can we just say it? Carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage. That's a tough character to do PG-13.
Yeah.
We're talking about a serial killer, murderous, crazy, symbiotic character who lives to kill people brutally with sharp knives and pointy things. How do you do that PG-13?
Especially if there's going to be more eating of heads, they would have to do the
You
the
can't
R-rated
cut away every
route.
time Carnage is gonna stab somebody through the guts.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
So I got to ask, in PG-13 movies, and if you don't know about this, to remain PG-13, you get to use one F-bomb. No more, no less, and it can't be in reference to the actual action.
What action?
The effing.
I don't follow, but go ahead.
My question is, do you think they could have used it better in this movie?
The effing?
Knowing this, whenever I see a PG-13 movie and I know they're going to drop an F-bomb, I always look for like the best possible scenario in which they could have dropped it to get the most out of it.
Interesting.
I'm talking about bang for your buck. Buck.
I think you're talking about the Titans trailer is what I think you're talking about. You want to talk about perfect F-bombs? That was not one of them.
No, it was not.
We won't get into the Titans trailer. The Titans dropped, what, yesterday? Did anybody see Titans?
Today.
Today? Has anybody started watching it? Nobody's subscribing to the DC streaming service.
I have. I have it.
Good job, Warner Bros.
Doesn't matter, Disney's going to buy it soon anyways.
Yeah, right.
What time is it? Okay. Who wants to win this statue? Is anybody registered to win this statue? That guy. Thanks, man. Our sound engineer wants the statue really right. Let's move on. From Venom. We saw our first look at Ruby Rose as Batwoman this week. Wasn't that much to go on, but I like it. Anybody? Crickets out there?
Everything is relative, right? And when you look at that picture versus the one that they put out for Lobo, Ruby Rose looks great.
Tony, we're going to see Ruby Rose as Batwoman in the DC CW crossover this Christmas. That's going to be our first look at Batwoman. Are you excited about this picture? It looks very much comic book.
It looks illustrated.
Looks right out of the comics.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was out of the comics. I like the picture. I usually like to see more, so a picture doesn't really do too much for me. I want to see more. I want to see acting. I want to see, something a little more solid. But that's a good start. I liked it.
What I like about it, I don't know, Andy, if we can zoom in to the really close up. If you look in the background, you see on the side of that building Wayne Enterprises. And obviously the Bat Signal, or maybe it's the Batwoman signal. But Wayne Enterprise finally making an appearance in the Arrowverse is huge.
Big.
That's big. Are we going to start getting more and more? Do you think we'll ever see Batman on the CW things? I mean, he's got the Fox, because Gotham's in their final season. Hold on, we have a good commentary.
Yeah, right now, Batman references are not currently authorized. In fact, for like Deathstroke, they get certain times when they can have Deathstroke in the CW verse, and certain times when they're not authorized to have them in episodes.
Okay.
And so there was one episode in Arrow where they actually had a voiceover that they confirmed was actually Harley. But that was it, and she'll never appear ever again. And so just their references and capabilities are very limited.
Let me ask you this. Can you use Thomas Wayne? Because obviously you got Wayne Enterprises right there. Well, this isn't, I'm thinking Gotham.
I don't know the exact term, but I just know their relationship in relation to the actual movie universe is very kind of touch and go. So they get authorization for certain things at certain times, and then at certain times they don't have the authorization to do it. And it just really depends on them collaborating with the movie studio to be able to do and not do certain things.
Yeah,
So,
what do you think about the picture?
I'm excited. The costume looks great. The character's great. I'm not really a big fan of Ruby Rose. I haven't seen enough of her to.
You didn't see the Meg?
Did
anybody see the Meg? I saw the Meg.
I enjoyed that movie. I came into the movie with zero expectations. It was actually pretty good.
It was entertaining.
But I don't know. She doesn't really excite me as an actress from what I've seen yet. But maybe she'll change my mind. So I'm open to her changing my mind about her prowess as an actress.
Prowess, huh?
We'll see.
So can I ask you why Batwoman and not Batgirl? Because we all know Batgirl. I've never heard of Batwoman.
Well, no, they're two very separate characters. Batwoman is an actual character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she's a standalone character overall, right?
Gotcha.
I think that what they were going for here was probably a little bit more of representation.
Yeah.
She's an openly gay character, and that carries some weight when you're making a show like this. I think it's important.
That makes sense.
All right, man, I'm excited. Crazy week in the world of fandom.
Right?
So much happened. What are we forgetting? I mean, did we miss anything in the Twitterverse that happened today while we were sitting up here? Did anything amazing happen?
I've been checking all day just to make sure we didn't miss anything. I don't know.
Amazing trailers. The Glass trailer, Venom, was amazing. The Fox, Marvel, Disney crazy deal is finally happening on January 1st. James Gunn going to direct Suicide Squad 2.
Woohoo!
Who reads comic books? Does anybody read comic books anymore?
Yay!
You read comic books. You read comic books.
That guy does.
That guy. Yeah. Comic alarm. I just want to, we always try to end the show with our favorite comic book picks of the week. This one, Shatterstar, actually came out last week. Absolutely amazing book, guys, by Tim Seeley. Tim Seeley's right over there. If you haven't been to Tim Seeley's table yet, go talk to him. The guy does so many comics for DC, so many comics for Marvel. He did the amazing run of Grayson. I don't know if you guys read Grayson. Batman Eternal. Well, he just launched this book. It's called Shatterstar, issue number 1. This is going to be a surprise hit. The character Shatterstar,
It's the best.
not exactly, the most known person in the X universe.
Can you explain this character in less than 10 seconds or 30 seconds even? Or
Okay.
20 minutes?
Not 20 minutes, I'll run out of things to say. But he if you're an X-Men fan, he lived in the Mojoverse. He was a gladiator in the Mojo world. Everyone knows the Mojo world, the world that is run by television networks.
Mojo World.
Well, he has found himself in our world, but he's running an apartment complex in Queens. He's a landlord, which he thinks is the greatest name for a person. I'm a landlord. I mean, he's really proud of that title. He doesn't quite know what it is, but all of his tenants in his Queens apartment are all superhuman people. They're all people from other universes, Earth 90210, and Earth this Earth and that Earth. So he runs an apartment building in Queens full of superpowered individuals. What an awesome concept.
Right?
You got Shatterstar going door to door asking people for their rent. And, you know, they're sitting around, they got... I can't do the thing justice just by talking about it, but guys, pick up Shatterstar issue number 1. It's absolutely spectacular. Shauna, you read it?
I love it. I thought it was great.
It's great.
It's such an original concept, too. It's just so much fun, and I can't wait to see where Tim Seeley takes it.
There's a little talking puppy dog in there that is just the most adorable thing ever.
Sold.
Yeah, it's a pug.
Oh,
It's a pug fans out there.
Who doesn't like a nice, cute pup? The other book, is anybody reading Donny Cates' Venom run? Spectacular, right?
Right? He's here. He's going to be here. We
Where
haven't
was
seen
Donny
today.
Cates today? Does anybody know? He was supposed to be here, and he's not here. But anyway, if you haven't started reading Donny Cates' run of Venom, you absolutely have to. It's one of... Everything this guy puts his name on is solid gold. His run of Thanos, one of the best comic book runs in recent memory. His book Baby Teeth, I don't know if you guys are reading that. Absolutely spectacular book. But Donny Cates, everything he touches is incredible. His run of Venom with Ryan Stegman doing the art.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of Ryan Stegman's art, you're going to absolutely lose your mind with the Venom book. Ryan, have you read Venom?
I have not caught up yet, unfortunately. But I have to ask, how far into this run are we?
This is only issue 6.
So this makes sense, because if you notice, when a big blockbuster movie is going to come, like Venom just did, they put their absolute superstars on that book and they start a new run.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with Donny Cates here.
Yeah, they did it with Tim Seeley with Ant-Man and the Wasp. They put him on it like right before, you know. Well, they couldn't have picked a better author.
How does Donny Cates find time to write on every book?
I don't know how he finds time to write his own name. I mean, the dude's working on 9 million things. He's re-releasing the Marvel Knights. Everybody knows the Marvel Knights from back in the day. That's going to relaunch with a Daredevil. He's going to be running that.
Wow.
He and Jeff Shaw is going to be launching the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy in January.
And also, he's currently doing Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Thanos
Legacy.
Venom.
Baby Teeth.
He actually couldn't be here at this show because he's writing 6 more books right now.
Yeah. It's madness. It's madness what this guy's working on. So guys, definitely check out Venom. It's well worth your money, and so is Shatterstar. Go talk to Tim Seeley later on while you're here at the con. So I'm just going to wrap this up, guys. Thanks a lot for sitting around and watching us talk about nerdy stuff. Guys, we do this on YouTube every single Sunday, a chuckload of comics. Andy, thanks for running our slides for us, man. So check it out, every single Sunday, YouTube, chuckload of comics. We kind of just talk about movies and comic book reviews, everything happening in the world of fandom, all the nerdy stuff that we're all here to enjoy. We talk about it every single Sunday with a week in review. If you guys want to be part of the Infinity Feud game show that's going on the main stage on Sunday, click on the subscribe button on Truckload of Comics and come talk to us over at our booth. We would love to have you on stage. 4 rounds of ultimate fandom domination.
With some awesome prizes.
What I love about these conventions is like people coming together with common interests, everybody's friends. We figured what better way to celebrate that camaraderie than by pitting them all together against each other.
In a fight to the death.
In a battle royale, winner take all, clawing fight for fun, free stuff. So anyway, that's going on Sunday, guys, on the main stage. Thanks a lot for watching.
Also, don't forget to check out CHUMPcast.
CHUMPcast.
We are the CHUMPcast.
Where can people
find us
find
on
the
all
CHUMPcast?
social media at the CHUMPcast. We have a podcast available on pretty much everything: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. We're out there.
The CHUMPcast, the man with the golden voice. Ryan, thanks for being here with us, man.
Thank you for having me.
Shauna, thank you.
No problem.
Tony, phenomenal stuff, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, we'll see you here tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right, guys, we're coming at you live from Ace Comic Con Chicago.
Yes, we are.
Tom Hiddleston is on stage right now, talking to your mic.
Sorry, I still haven't figured it out over the last 2 years.
We are live at the Chuckload of Comics booth. If you're listening to this, you've already heard our news segment, which we did live Friday night at Ace Comic Con, and wanted to thank Chuck once more for letting me sit in with him and be the Debbie Downer that I usually am. Only to you.
You were definitely viewed as the most pessimistic one on that panel, but they need somebody like that up there.
Yeah, well, that's what Chuck said. Like, they just love everything, so somebody's got to be there to bring it down.
And that you do very well.
I know. But we wanted to make sure that we got in our Best Man Alive nominations for the week and include some recommendations. So,
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
Mark, do you have a Best Man Alive?
So my Best Man Alive is actually a Pakistani martial artist. His name is Muhammad Rashid Nassim. He's 32 years old. He went ahead and cracked 243 walnuts with his forehead.
I guess that's impressive. What?
Well, the most impressive part about this whole story is supposedly he broke the Guinness Book of World Records, but this was a record set earlier this year. I don't know who's out there just cracking walnuts with their foreheads, but it must be a thing.
They're all going to have CTE from subconcussive hits.
Oh, definitely.
That's so stupid. Wow. Let's talk about some actual martial artists that don't break walnuts.
Oh, yeah.
My Best Man Alive, first of all, is Khabib, because he won me so much money last weekend.
How many bets did you have?
I had at least six open bets. One was like online, and the rest were just with people who were like, "Oh no way, Connor's gonna win."
Were they any real big ones, or were they just like $20 bets?
It's $20 is the biggest bet I made, but still, I mean, we've been talking about this fight for years, and it finally happened. And fuck you, Tyler.
And you took my money too, I guess. Supposedly in the archives, there's some discussion we had where I agreed that Conor McGregor
recorded on an episode.
All right, I have to go back and find it.
I'm sorry that you tried to welch out of another one of your bets. You still haven't watched Hurricane Heist.
It's on Netflix now, so I will watch that maybe tonight, probably not, maybe next week. We'll see.
All right, let's talk about another MMA fighter, the Black Beast, a.k.a. Derek Lewis.
My balls were hot.
He gave possibly the best post-fight interview I've ever seen. I'm going to cut the audio in here so you can hear it, because I would not do it any justice.
Me neither.
But I'm pretty sure I need to cut the shit and put it on their drop board.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off?
My balls was hot.
I understand.
I forgot a few hours before the fight, Donald Trump called me and told me I got knocked this Russian motherfucker out because they're making him look bad on the news. You know, him and Putin and shit. Fuck what they talking about. USA and this whole. Fuck. I need to sit my black ass down and do some more cardio. Fuck what you talking about right now. I ain't trying to fight for no title right now. Not with no gas tank like that. Shit. Thanks for having me. Hey, maybe next week or sometime or 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna come on your show and smoke some weed with you.
Anytime, sir. Anytime.
If you weren't a Derek Lewis fan before, you will be now.
Oh, definitely. And let me just say this. He has probably the greatest Instagram of all time. So
he does.
Definitely go follow him on Instagram. It's ridiculous.
All right, so we got a listener submission this week from Kyle Robinson at KRobTweeted. He posted a video of, I want to call them the whitest people ever.
Oh, so I didn't see this. What is it?
Everybody knows about like Permit Patty and Barbecue Brenda. They're like these crazy uptight white people who call the cops because black people aren't doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
These people took it to the next level because they called the cops on some whales.
Oh, I did see this.
These people are out on their boat.
Call 911, Sharon. Call 911.
And these giant whales are just chilling underneath them. You came into their fucking house. You don't get to call the cops on them.
That's very true.
Yeah, so K-Rob dubbed this Whale Watcher Wendy, and I am infinitely appreciative of this.
What's going to happen when the cops get there? They're going to pull up in their police boat and just be like, all right, it's a fucking whale. What do you want us to do?
The cops weren't going to show up.
I know. But let's just hypothetically say, like, what the fuck are they going to do about it?
Absolutely nothing.
It was like a giant beluga whale to that matter.
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah, I can understand how you'd be a little unnerved by that. But what? Are the cops just going to come laugh at you? Are they even going to show up?
I don't know. Maybe they thought the cops would come and just harpoon it and murder it. They're really fucked up.
Fucking white people, man.
Goddamn white people.
I'm telling you. All right, so that's our best man alive for the week. Mark, do you have a recommendation?
I do, and I asked you to watch it the other day. You haven't yet, but I'm sure you will. So Titans, the first episode of Titans on DC Universe came out the other day. I started watching it, and the first like, holy shit, that's loud. The first 10, 15 minutes of this first episode of Titans is mainly revolved around Raven, which is fine, but so far I really don't like Raven. don't like the girl acting as Raven, and I could care less about the characters.
So it's just you don't like the character to begin with.
No, I like the character. I could care less about this Raven portrayed.
Okay, I gotcha.
But that was about the first 15 minutes of the episode. I'm obviously not going to spoil it. Let me just say this. Anna Diop as Starfire does an amazing job. And we have Brenton Thwaites playing Nightwing. I think we had a good look into what his Nightwing was going to be. Completely brutal.
Fuck Batman.
Breaking legs, all that kind of stuff. Let me just say that doesn't really do it any justice. He's completely batshit crazy. And he's just, it reminds me of Daredevil.
Pun
is what it really
brutally
does.
intended.
And a lot of people are already complaining because this is not your typical Nightwing we've seen in the comics. It's worth a watch, though.
If you don't like it, don't watch it.
I agree.
It's so simple.
I think, Smithers, you need to watch this.
I will.
I have high expectations now. First 15 minutes I really didn't because of this Raven. But we'll see how it all turns out. There was a small clip of Beast Boy shown at the very end, so we'll see how that turns out.
Okay.
I have high expectations, so we'll see.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad that there's another show out there that we can watch. But speaking of superhero TV shows, Daredevil Season 3 drops this Friday, and I'm very excited for that, so check that out. On top of that, we got Season 2 of Big Mouth on Netflix, which is the most uncomfortable show I've ever seen.
You finished Season 1?
Yeah.
Really?
And they really churn this out really quickly. It has not been a full year. I think it's been like 4 or 5 months since Season 1 came out.
Yeah.
So Nick Kroll is just cranking these episodes out. It's really funny, but do not watch it with your parents.
Is Nick Kroll even on tour anymore, or is he mainly just focusing on the show, do you think?
I have no idea. He did like a Broadway show.
Yeah, I did.
And some other stuff. That's on Netflix too, but definitely worth checking this show out. Just like I said, don't watch it with your family.
All right.
So that's our recommendations, and thanks for tuning into episode 113 of the CHUMPcast. Obviously, it's a little different. We wanted to give a shout-out once more to Chuck from Chuck Loaded Comics, Chuck and Shauna and Tony and everybody else that helped put this together this weekend. And hopefully we'll see everybody soon at another convention like C2E2.
Yeah, and one last thing. I think this was a really successful first turnout for Ace Comic-Con in Chicago.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be coming back next year. I think you'll agree with me. And then maybe in the next year or so, we can get a panel and have our own show, and Brick can attend as well and not just yell at us for not being able to get him a press pass. But that's okay. We got you next year, Brick.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Your cheap ass could just buy a ticket.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, guys, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at the CHUMPcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. I promise we'll get to your dumb question submissions next week. I don't know. Next week is Halloween. That's perfect.
Yes.
So
and we have a question that Brick came up with, so we'll do that next week.
It's basically a draft. It's a draft of...
As usual.
Yeah, of course. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Until next time.
Chumps out, motherfucker!